now we can get up and walk and be whole, but you can't take it literally. And they begin to start criticizing the Word of God. And because of their criticism, I came into a crisis of my faith, just like Billy Graham talked about. And I actually went through about a week's period of time where I began to say, how do I know that the Bible is accurate? And this is back when I was 18 years old, and I didn't have all of the things that I've got today. And anyway, it's a long story, and for about a week, I really was bothered with this. And the thing that pushed me over the edge, and again, I've got this new series that I'm coming out with entitled A Biblical Worldview, where I go into great detail and show like 70 or 80 prophecies that have been directly fulfilled. There are over 300 and something prophecies in the Old Testament concerning the coming of Jesus. Now, there are thousands of prophecies, but I'm just focusing on the ones that spoke about the coming of Jesus. And I mean, they were so specific that he would be crucified, his hands and his feet would be pierced, and that they would sell him for 30 pieces of silver, that he would be given, vinegar to drink and gall in his thing, that he would be crucified between thieves, that he would be buried in a rich man's tomb, and on you go. And I take the percentages, the chances of something like this happening. If you only took something like 40 of the prophecies about Jesus, that he would be born in Bethlehem. Of course, there was a lot of people born in Bethlehem, but if you took the people who were born in Bethlehem who also fulfilled just 40 of these 300 plus prophecies about Jesus, the chances of one person being born in Bethlehem fulfilling all of these other prophecies are astronomical. I mean, 10 to the thousandth, millions powers. It's impossible. It cannot be done. And so anyway, what I'm saying is that when I was going through this crisis, there was a lot of things that God spoke to me, but I began to look at fulfilled prophecy. And that showed me that this is not just a normal book. There is no other book, there is no other religion that has fulfilled prophecy the way that the Bible does. Now, there are some things spoken, but they're generic, like, for instance, Rasputin, a Russian mystic. He made some prophecies, and some people have tried to link those to the assassination of JFK and things like this, but they're vague, and they could have applied to a number of different things. But the Bible's prophecies aren't vague. Like, for instance, it was so specific, it said that they would take his garments and part them among people, and then they would cast lots for his vesture. Now, that is so specific that they would take his clothes, his normal robes and stuff, and they would just divide those and cut them into pieces and divide them among people. But when it came to his vesture, his robe, it was woven without a seam. It was an expensive robe, and so because of the value of it, rather than cutting it up, they cast lots for it, just exactly the way it was prophesied in the Old Testament. I mean, those things are so specific that those aren't generalities that many people or many circumstances could have applied to. So I could go on, and again, I've got this new series coming out that'll go into more detail. But the point I'm trying to make is that the Word of God is accurate in every detail. It is not man writing about God, and therefore the book is full of human errors. No, it is God-breathed, and even though I talked about this, I think, on Tuesday's broadcast, even though, Exodus chapter 20, verse 13 says, thou shalt not kill, and Matthew chapter 19, verse 18 says, thou shalt not do any murder, that's not a contradiction. It's not one place was translated right and the other place was translated wrong. It's the fact that no one word in our English language conveys exactly what was being spoken in the Hebrew language, and so you have to put kill and murder together and interpret that in the light of the scriptures that talk about you have to put a railing around your roof, and if somebody falls off without you having that railing, you are liable for their death. You have to put all